set your coaches and pros, the X's and O's. This is the best what we do, what we know. So let's go. Yeah, y'all know what it is, man. When you hear that truck horn, y'all know what's going on. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on with my people, man? What's up with my beautiful people out there today, man? I hope that everybody's feeling good today, man. You know what I'm saying? Coming up in here to kick it with me for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that, man. When y'all come up in here, wipe the feet off. I appreciate that too. Hit the like button. Helps me grow a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Man, hey, there's so much going on, man. You know me, man. I like getting into all the mess, man. Everything that's going on up out there, man. But I figure, hey, man, why not talk about it? We got bowl games. You got Ryan Clark going that Aaron Rodgers going that Aaron Clark. You got Alabama linebackers texting the coach's daughter. You got what up, Katie? What's going on, Katie? What's up? You got so much going on, man. It's funny, man. It's funny. It's a funny thing, man. But man, I said let me come out here, let me go live, and because I haven't in a couple days or whatever, and there's a lot going on, but trying to pump out videos and so forth for so on, because I'm gonna be going back on the road, y'all. I'm getting back out there on that road. Man, ain't nothing like making that road money. That road money, different money. You heard? It's way different than that local money. But yeah, and that was a tough decision. I went through that with my family or whatever, but I was like, I gotta start getting these videos out, man, because I'm probably not gonna be as frequent as I am, being on the road and all. But I'll definitely be, bringing updating y'all and letting y'all see the journey and everything out there on the road and all of that, and still be doing my thing on the weekends or whatever. But just wanted to come through and share some things with my people real quick. And so the funniest the thing I want to get on today, there's so much, man. Where do I start at with today? I'm gonna drop the link real quick, but where do I start? Where do we start? What's up, Cliff? What up? The Godfather in the building? Cliff, what up, Cliff? Hit that link, man. Hit that link. Oh shit, man, there's so much going on, like, to rap about, man. I'm gonna talk these bowl games. I'll give a little quick bowl game schedule. Y'all remind me to do that just in case y'all don't have the bowl game schedule. I think I'll run through them and give y'all the channels, the times, where they're being played at, and everything else. You know what I'm saying? College football is imploding, trucking. So that's what Katie want to talk about. That's what we'll talk about. That's what we'll jump on first, then, Katie. Because I guess there's so much going on, man. So much. What's up, Cliff? What's going on with you, bro?
What's going on, trucking? What's happening, bro? I ain't seen you. Well, I ain't got no notification in a minute. I don't know why that is.
Because I ain't been going live. I've been dropping videos, but I dropped some videos, but I ain't been live, man. I got to get back. I got to get going. I'm about to be going hard, though, these next couple of weeks, because I'm about to be going back on the road, Cliff.
Oh, okay. For sure.
So I'm going to try to, try to get as many lives in as possible right now. I'll probably still be going live on the road, but, I won't be in my studio or whatever. I'll be on the truck, but.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the way that's about to go. Right after the new year. I'm going to wait till after the new year, after the everything's done, Christmas and New Year's, whatever, and then I'll get back out there. But, man, what's up with you, man? How you been, man?
Man, I've been all right, man. Just, trying to get this property together, but checking out this college football and back to that statement, man. I think they ruining it right now.
Oh, why you feel like that, Cliff?
I'm hearing people say, well, why shouldn't the players be able to do this? Coach has been doing that and this and this and that. And, I don't mind a little player movement.
Mm-hmm.
But when you compare that to when coaches make a business decision, they're grown, they have homes, they have kids, things of that nature, and they're trying to take care of their families to the best of their ability. We can't compare that to these kids now. You want to call them kids, but they getting
Mhm.
paid.
Right.
You can't have it both ways. What
Right.
really wigged me out is I don't know if you saw the article about the kid leaving Texas Tech and going to Texas A&M and
Mm.
and requesting $700,000. And you look at his stat line: 8 catches for 123 yards for on the season.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and you feel like you can come in and just make requests like that. I'm thinking my feeling is this: we're giving these young athletes too much um strength to do what they want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You,
I
you
agree.
know, I don't mind them, getting money, playing this because they are taking a risk.
Mhm.
Um, but it's becoming more about money than about what we all were raised on, at least in my generation, was when you play for somebody, it's pride in your school.
Mhm.
You want to, like, you were going off that day, and it's like people weren't understanding about playing in a bowl game. We didn't have this 15 years ago where people just opting out of bowl
Right.
games, regardless
Right.
if you were a number one pick or not.
Right.
It was all about your commitment to that university, your commitment to your brothers that you done went through spring training camp with, that you don't, well, back in the day, 2 a days, but now 1 a days, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the hours in the training room, getting well to play, to go out there and help your teammates win. And it's like everybody done become soft.
Mhm. Yeah.
This is the softest era ever, and it's not just excluded to football. You know what I'm saying? It's leaking into basketball, and it's like it's starting on the lower levels. And it's like, when are we gonna stop coddling these kids? I mean, I understand, your best athletes, yes, some of them get preferential treatment. I understand that totally, but it's like
Mhm.
every kid now, regardless to if he's a top prospect or not, he wants preferential treatment.
Yeah.
And if I don't get it, guess what? Forget you. I'm gonna go somewhere else where I think I can get it.
Yeah.
And to me, you're ruining these kids for what's ahead when they become adults in life, because life is not like that. You're not gonna be able, just
Mhm.
because you're not getting acknowledgement that you want, you're not gonna be able to just quit your job and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go find another job that might give me the acknowledgments."
Mhm. Yeah. 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 I feel you, Cliff. Hey, Cliff, it's imploding. The sport of football right now, college sports is definitely imploding. If you really look at it, last year sometime, I think we was looking at it like me and Shad was taking a look at things, and I know this don't got nothing to do with like the conversation. We're just talking about college sports, and it's imploding because
Right.
these players being entitled to nothing, right? And sports like hockey won't survive this NIL type of era. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people talk about or whatever, but I just wanted to throw that little sidebar in there. But you got guys like you said. I didn't hear about that. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. I've been seeing a whole lot of different things that have been trending in sports and whatnot, but that's crazy for you to have 128 yards in a game and think that you're entitled to $700,000 because you're going to
Yes.
Texas A&M. That's crazy. You're not even like, I don't get why they're and it sound crazy, but why would you even be paying these young men straight out of high school this kind of money, and you don't know what they're going to even do on a college field? Just because they did it in high school don't mean that they're going to do it in college.
And
You
then,
know what
and
I'm
then,
saying?
you know what? Another thing to me is this: trucking. We're giving these young men this money, and we're not teaching them. And I'm not saying some aren't being taught, but we're not teaching them the
Mhm.
value of their money.
Mhm.
I'm seeing everybody iced out. going to buy all this
Mhm.
flamboyant stuff, trucks. I understand you want to make a better life if you're from the projects or whatever the case may be. I understand that you want to be put in a better situation for your family. But it's called generational wealth for a reason.
Mhm.
It's not called go out and just spend, spend, spend because I got it. And that's another thing that's ruining these kids. Like, okay, we give them the money. We don't care what they do with the money. And
They
it's
ain't
not
got
a, it,
nobody
it-
advising
it's
them.
it's not enough talk about. Okay, you spend this money. What does NFL stand for? Not for long. The average career is 3 to 5 years. Some get lucky and play longer than that, but you still got a whole life ahead of you. So
Mhm.
most of these kids, what they do is basketball, football. Okay, well, football you have to stay a little longer because they want you to kind of develop. So you're doing 3 years.
Right.
But these kids that have come out in basketball, one and done, get drafted, don't make it. You 22 and you got 70 years of your life left.
Mm.
What are you gonna do if you don't go back to school and get your degree or get a trade?
They ain't
Same
worried about that.
right, same thing in football. Say your career is over at 25. What are you gonna do? Bills don't stop.
Nah, they don't know. They ain't getting the right degrees. They're not being advised right, man. And they're caught like and a lot of people are coddled. And just like Katie said, she was like, what kills me is the grown men out here complaining about my generation for not having commitment and that are the same, then they're the same ones that's encouraging this BS. Like, and
Right.
I feel her on that. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's crazy because they do. They
Yeah.
do that. There's a
It-
lot of
it-
people that's out there that complain about it, but then they encouraging it, and it's like, and that's why this era is just the way that the sports is like with this just quitting these bowl games that irks me. That really gets underneath my skin. It really does, man. And
yes.
I just, but I've learned and I sat with it a couple days hearing everybody's. I had to go back and play back and listen to what everybody was saying about it, right? What each and every one of us was saying in that panel. That was a real good conversation that we was having and
Right.
about quitting in these bowl games and everybody's different things. I thought JB had a very valid point and he got cut off at some point because I wanted to hear a lot more of what he was talking about as far as that training schedule and why some people drop out of bowl games to go to training, start
Right.
training for the NFL, and he got cut off during that. So we really never got the
Yeah.
inside look of somebody training for the NFL and why they drop out of these bowl games. But it's crazy because I just had made a video clip about Marshall's team. Their whole team quit.
I
Their,
know.
their
Yeah.
whole team, they didn't even have a team to compete in the bowl game.
In the
So
bowl game. Yep.
So Louisiana Tech had to take their spot versus Army in a bowl game. And I'm like, it's just like, I'm like, wow, like your whole team quit during the bowl game. You know what I mean? Then you got these guys, and then because, and look, I get it because it's tough from an athlete's point of view, right? If you're an athlete right now, a player who, for some reason, your coach is moving on, and it's the coaches that's moving on too, that's killing us too. It just ain't the players that's moving
Right.
on, it's these coaches.
Yeah.
Um, but this is their chance right now to get in to the portal to get acclimated with their new systems that they're playing in, right? This is
Right.
their chance to do that because if they wait until the spring portal window, you only getting a couple of months with your new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and to learn those plays, and that may even put you behind second or third string behind somebody because you're not, you know, up to par with the system that you're in now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So right now is the time to do it. I think they just need to just have one particular portal window. One, forget the portal because this ain't the portal. This is college free agency. This is what this is. This
Yep.
is college football free
Okay.
agency. This
Yep.
is, and they need to just put it one time a year. Right? What the spring portal should be the only portal. Right, put it right after the national championship, so that players that plan on transferring don't have to transfer on their teams in the middle of a bowl season or before a bowl game. Um, and right before the draft, like right before the draft, and people start working out. Look, you could work out for the draft. What, early February, the beginning of February, you can start working out for the draft if you need to. You can be able to transfer to your new school and get acclimated with the system. You starting in February because these portal windows, it's hard on everybody, and that's
Yeah.
just the player's point of view. From the coaches, you got to start thinking like teams that's probably falling off late in the year. Could that be because, and I'm just speculating, there's no facts to really back this up. This is just me thinking, giving a little critical thinking into the situation or whatever. But if you're a coach towards the end of the season, you already got to start looking for your replacements and guys that's going to be entering the portal in December 9th.
Yeah.
And you got to be trying to beat those other teams to the punch. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a lot going on as far as that portal goes, right? I mean, there's college free agency, but they're getting paid to play. That's just what it is. It's pay to play. There's nothing else with it. And the only way that you're going to be able to get a handle on that is contracts. You got to put contracts on them. I don't see why a sponsor can pay a player for NIL deal wise for their name, image, and likeness. We'll put that in air quotes because we know it's just straight up pay for play or whatever.
Right.
But they can pay them to do that or whatever, but they can't put a contract on that saying that you got to stay with this desired whatever team that is through the whole season, and you have to play that bowl game if y'all make one. I don't see why they can't do that. I just don't see why they're not allowed to do that. I believe that they are allowed to do that. I just don't know when they're going to start doing that. And when this revenue sharing hit sooner or later, there's a whole nother conversation that this stuff leads into, because when revenue sharing hit, it's going to be a whole different thing then, because now you're going to have players who pretty much just making a roster and probably getting paid the same as a top athlete. You know what I'm saying? As far as when that revenue sharing kicks in, I don't know when they plan on doing that or whatever, but it's just going to become a bigger mess and a bigger mess. But they got to get a handle on it. The crazy thing is that each and every one of these universities that's involved, they have the manpower and they have the staff or the people on staff to get ahead of this, but they're going to wait for the NCAA to get a hand on it. And once the NCAA get a hand on it, it's over. They're letting this chaos right now go on. Go ahead. Y'all try to handle this on your own. Y'all want them to get paid. We didn't. Go ahead. We're going to create total chaos right now for y'all. And then they got a plan already. I believe they already got a plan. Maybe it's a little a conspiracy theory, traveling to that or whatever, just speculating on it. But they have a plan to get this in order. But they need to go ahead and do it because it's just chaos right now. And for a lot of these players quitting on their team, there's just no excuse for that. But I get it. It's like there's no excuse for it. There's not to me. But then it's like, dang, if you want to move on, you have to move now if you want to get ahead of the curve. You know what I'm saying? And it makes them look like they don't want to compete. That's what it looks like. You don't want to play. It looks shady. It makes them look shady. So I guess like if you're in college, like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. It's kind of situation. But you know what I'm saying? It's crazy out there right now, and that transfer portal is crazy, man. I've seen. I was looking, Cliff. They changed gears a little bit, but still to stay on that. I've been seeing Colorado getting busy. Some guys leaving, some guys going in. Man, what you think about some of them guys leaving and coming into Colorado? What you think about that?
Well, I think I only seen. I'm not sure if that's the same quarterback that was at Liberty. Was he number 7?
Who?
Because the quarterback that was at Liberty is at done committed to Colorado now.
Kaden Salter, absolutely, yeah.
Salter so I'm not sure if that's the same kid. I think his number was number 7.
Yeah, that's him. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I like his game. He's to me, he's not so much of a polished passer. Um, More athletic to me. Great runner. Can improve on some things in the passing game, but I think they can kind of maintain some of the things. I guess that what they want to do. I think they might have to change their offense a little bit. Getting him
Mm.
because he's more athletic than Shador. I didn't understand the whole Hill Green transfer portal jump.
Oh yeah, that's
They,
crazy to me, man. Let's talk about it. Yeah, what you think about that one?
you,
That's crazy to me.
you, you know what? We were talking yesterday and trying to figure out. They kept saying something about graduate transfer. So I really didn't look it up, and I really don't know the meaning of it. I don't know if I've heard about kids, okay, being transferring after or before grad school,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just trying to figure out why would you transfer if you got another year of eligibility and you were that successful, you were one of the standouts at
For
Colorado.
sure.
Why wouldn't you stay?
For sure. For sure. For sure. That's what I'm thinking too, because I'm sitting there and I'm puzzled by it. And I'm like, yo, like Nikhil Hill Green, like you can argue that he was the best linebacker that Colorado had this season. Like you
Yeah,
can really like for real, like he without not Nikhil Hill Green there, I don't think they win a couple of those games. Like he set the tone on defense. Like I like the way he played. I like the way he played. It took me for one when I seen him in the transfer portal. I'm like, what's going on? Like, is he trying to get the bag or what? Like, and I thought they may be trying to take care of him up there at Colorado. And if you're trying to get the bag and NIL deals, like you did everything. And then it's crazy too, because you did everything up there at Colorado needed to do to get the NIL deals that's around Colorado. And you got Travis leaving, Shiloh leaving, and Shador leaving. So now you possibly can get one of those deals that those guys had with one of the locals. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Like
right.
I don't get it. I don't get why he left.
And
You got everything there you need to go to the next level. You got everything you need there. Everything. You got a couple of the NFL connections there. You got NFL coaches coming to see y'all practice. They've already seen you practice. The world is on notice about Nikhil Hill Green leaving from
yeah,
Michigan, going to Charlotte, coming over to Colorado. Everybody knows about Nikhil Hill Green and how he played linebacker. Leaving
mhm,
Colorado at this point, to me, it's like, why? You know what I mean? Is it because you got benched a little bit, or in those last couple of games to let Wester play, or you feeling some kind of way about that? Because I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like
right.
I don't know what it is, but it don't look good on his part to me, because it's like you got everything there, so it kind of leaves a lot of question marks behind that. Like, what's really going on there in Colorado? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on back there? There's a whole bunch of questions that arise in the back of a lot of people's minds. You know what I'm saying? Because he was good, man. He was real good. I didn't understand why Nikhil Hill Green decided to pick up and leave, but they did bring in some big guys. They got some more pause beef. They got some more beef, big guys down there on the
Right.
defensive line. They pulled in what's his name? Uh what's his name? Oh yeah, Jaheim Otis from Alabama, defensive lineman. They
Alabama.
pulled him
Yeah.
in. I think they just got another one today. Was it today? Yeah, Gabriel Lightfoot from Fresno, another big defensive lineman. So shoring that up, I guess, but I don't know. That was crazy, man. That's crazy. So them defensive line guys they picked up was good. They didn't use Assad Wasim. He's on his way to Florida Atlantic, and I know he was promised playing time. He was probably one of the fastest guys on the team, and I thought they were
Yeah.
going to use him for a kickoff return, but they never did. Um,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that was crazy to me. I know Tyler Johnson, huh? He the new Cavassier Smoke, huh?
Where did Tyler Johnson go?
He ain't going nowhere. He just in the portal right now.
Oh, dang.
He just in the portal right now, man. They just got him sitting in the portal, man. He's sitting out there in the portal. He ain't went nowhere. Deion Hayes from Pittsburgh. He left. He left already. But I seen his season going where it was going early because people speak highly on Dayon Hayes and say what you want about him. I'm not saying that he's horrible. He's a local Pittsburgh guy. He's a Pittsburgh guy, so I'm gonna show him love. But however, I've seen a couple of games and watched a couple of games where Dayon was not doing what he was supposed to, making the plays he should have made. I'll say that. I'll say it like that. He should have made a lot more plays, and I don't think that he made them. And then when his replacements came in, they made the plays.
And then
Yeah.
what's his name left, the tailback too. I think that just transferred there from Ohio State. He left too, didn't he?
No way, he didn't leave. Stop.
I think he did.
Yakari
If I,
Walker. I wasn't big on Yakari. I was never a big fan of Yakari Walker. Cordell, the young baby T.O. leaving too.
yeah, I heard T.O. was leaving. Like I said, old boy from Ohio State.
Ohio. Ryan
uh,
Buell. Ryan
um,
Buell from Ohio. He's gone. That's crazy.
yeah, it's like these mass exoduses. I'm wondering, and this is just my thought process.
Yeah.
I know when you play football, you might not be the best at your position, but after years of practice, however practice is ran, you either improve or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
If you improve, usually you start playing.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, you're going to be a mainstay on the sideline. And we know every team just has people that hey, they make the football team, they're all right, but not good enough to start. We know that. And even some of the kids, they realize that. But I'm wondering, are these kids actually getting a chance to actually improve or showcase that they're good? Because these mass exoduses, some of these kids aren't getting deals. We have to be honest. All of these college football players, and I'm just talking about in the Power Four conferences, everyone is not getting a deal. Even starters, everyone is not getting a deal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this. Kids are leaving. It can't always be about a bag because no one has heard of you. You're leaving. What are you leaving for?
Mm.
And I keep hearing this, man, people leaving about the bag, the bag, the bag. Okay, we understand the name players.
Mm-hmm.
We understand top players at their position. But some of these other players, are they really getting a bag?
Nah, I don't think so. There's no way. There's no way Hassan Hassim could get the bag right now because he has no film. Really, he has no film to get the bag. Now, when you're looking at a player like Nakai Hill Green transferring, I think
Yeah,
that
right.
get the bag because he's well known. He played very good football, out there at Colorado. It's this mentality that they got that some people give, and with these scapegoat things, man, it's this mentality that nobody want to work. Why do you think? And it's crazy because I kind of looked at I've been looking at the transfer portal and trying to do updates and trying to keep y'all updated with some of my videos. I know I get long winded because I talk a lot, but like if you look at the transfer portal, right, when guys leaving Power 5 schools, those guys barely get picked up by another team. But if you look at the Power 5 teams, like there's guys that, and I didn't think it was allowed that SEC teams can transfer to SEC schools. I thought that was a no, but
I did too.
I've been seeing that a lot out there. Guys been doing that, but they're going to go. They're grabbing guys from G5.
Yeah,
Guys from G5. That's what a lot of these power teams are doing. They're going down to the G5 and they're grabbing a lot of those guys that were stand out on their roster or guys that put in work at JUCO. And why is that? Because those guys want to work. They want to play football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you go out there, you play hard, you train hard, you play the game, the money's going to follow. It's going to come. Notoriety. You play good, you're going to have good film. You're going to get notoriety. You're going to be a local hero, turn into a household name. It's going to come. But if you're out there just because you was a 4 or 5 a blue chip prospect and you think you just got your spot and you could just, do whatever at practice. You don't got to practice hard, whatever. You got your spot. You're sadly mistaken.
Right.
And I mean, and say we are very hard and critical of Coach Prime when he be doing some BS or he out there monkeying around, right? But at the same time, we give him his props when he doing good. He's one of those coaches out there that stay on his players and that do not, you know what I mean, that work them hard and he gives it to them real. And
Yeah.
you need more of that type of coaching in college football. And that's why I think that Bill Belichick will be successful up at North Carolina, because you're getting more of these coaches that are coming in and they're not babying these dudes. These are
Right.
not like you say kids because you're older and you are elder and we respect that, you know what I'm saying? But they're not kids, they're young men. These are
Right.
young men. They ain't kids no more. They may be kids to, a coach that's in his mid
60s,
50s.
50s, and 60s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, but they're these young men.
Yeah.
These are young men playing a gladiator like sport.
And
This
getting
is
paid to
football,
do it now too.
right? Getting paid, and we give them excuses like they not supposed to play in a bowl game that they won 6 games, and they're not supposed to. They're supposed to drop out early to do other, like, no. In life, you start what you finish. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you if you start it, you're gonna finish it. And that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the big problem. Finish it.
You know
You know
what,
what I mean?
trucking?
Like,
This is what kills me, and this is what kills me about what I hear. Everyone says the athletes today are better, bigger, faster, stronger. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, then why you got to leave to start training early? I mean,
I don't know.
back in the day, we didn't leave to train early.
I don't know.
When our season was over, we started training. But
Right.
if you're bigger, faster, and stronger than we were, why do you need to leave early?
You don't.
What I mean, I would think that back in the day, since we wasn't we weren't so big, fast, and stronger, we were the ones who should have had this president set a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know
You
what I'm
don't.
saying? But to me, everybody looks at physical. Physical. If you ain't got it upstairs, it's not going to translate to your physical.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I respected about Dion was he was gifted, a gifted athlete. Could play, could run track, great baseball player, all-time great football player. One thing I respected with Dion, he worked.
Right. He
One
worked
thing,
hard. He trained hard. Right.
one thing I respected being here in Chicago and going through it and seeing Mike personally and in person and going through, that man worked.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like nowadays, like you said, no one really wants to work for it.
Nope.
It's like, just give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or give it to me and then I'll work.
Yep.
No, that's backwards. You got to work to get something.
They overpaying athletes and they're underperforming for the money.
Yeah.
And they're not getting their ROI. If we talking about this is a business, we say this is a business, and there's a lot of us that look at this and say, this is a business. They have to take care of their bodies. They have to make sound decisions when it comes to that. They have to train. But if this is about business, then why are a lot of these athletes not training? Why are a lot of these? Why aren't they following through with their commitment? They were paid to do this. They got to show up to work, right? They got to.
You got to, yeah.
Right. Even if you own your own business, you don't make no money if you don't go out and work.
Exactly.
Period. So if you're looking at it from being a business and everything, then why are these players not get what? There's no ROI. There's no return on investment at all.
None.
With some of these players, like you can't pay. I'm gonna keep it real. You can't pay a Travis Hunter enough. He's overperforming every NIL deal he got right now. He
Yeah,
has to go to the NFL because college can't pay Travis Hunter no more. They
exactly.
can't. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of guys out here who's underperforming and want more money.
Uh-huh.
And it's messing up. It's going to mess up the bag for other guys out there that's training hard. And that's why you're getting a lot of these G5 athletes, these teams these guys from the MAC, these guys from the Sun Belt, and these guys that's coming out of the Mountain West right now.
West. Yup.
That are going to these power teams and becoming stars because they work. They work hard and they come up there and they taking your spot.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. They taking your spot.
And I want to touch on two things. You know, I think the phrase is lost, which I heard a lot coming up. You don't work, you don't eat. And that's an important phrase. And people look at it for the way I say it and what it is. If you don't work, you go starve. No, that means, hey, if you don't do your job, you go get fired. If you don't do your job, you're not going to get paid what you think you're worth.
That's a fact.
You know, and then, you know, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this portal, and I think they meant well by it. I think they meant for the portal to be. And I've heard numerous people say this. The portal was actually supposed to be used for plug and play. So if you lost somebody at a few positions, you could go in the portal, get somebody with a little experience, plug them in, and you wouldn't lose much.
Right.
But it's actually went the opposite direction because it's like obligation. Oh, you know what? Oh, I played 3 games. You're not starting me no more. Okay, 6th game, guess what? I quit. I'm going to get in the portal.
It's crazy.
And it's like you're hearing more of that rather than you're hearing kids saying, well, you know, I was really close to this coach. I don't know what this other coach is going to do. I'm very uncertain, so I'm going to enter the portal. It's like, no, most kids I'm hearing, oh, well, you know, hey, man, dog, I'm getting benched, or, you know, I had a few good games. You're not giving me the money. You know what? Forget you. I'm leaving. That's what it's actually turning into, or already turned into.
And there's a bunch of us out here who help with that. There's a bunch of us out here who help with that.
Yes.
Because we jump on these narratives and we run with those instead of just being the old fashioned tough it out. We out here toughing it out. We struggle every day, but then we give a break to all these guys, all these people who's supposed to be a little bit more known than what we are out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy that you can sit there and go through the struggle every single day, and because somebody's more popular and you watch them out there on the TV screen, you think they should be having an easier road.
Right.
Do you have it easy? Do you have it easy? Could you just sit at the house all day and tell the gas company and the light company, oh, I'm wait. Could you just tell them, that you ain't gonna pay your bill?
Hell no. They cut your shit off.
Right.
Man.
Like, so we're like, when did we start getting soft like that? When did we start being like that? We're to the point where you couldn't speak on that kind of thing. Those kind of things. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Katie said, she said it, she put in the comments. I want to read that. She said, trucking. My mom told me if I drop a class I signed up for, I can figure out how to pay my own tuition. I can't quit anything I start. Good, Mom. Good. That's the parenting we need more of that out here with your nieces, your nephews. That's the way you got to be. My daughter struggled being a pitcher in softball. She struggled. She would cry out the mound. It was her first year playing. She's strong. She could do, my babies, or she was all in the 5th grade, but she could do push-ups. You know, she got all brothers. So when we do push-ups, she doing push-ups right with us. She don't do them the girl way. I don't take it easy on her when we working out and stuff like that. She get it in, but she got an arm, right? She got a cannon. She know how to throw because she got brothers, right? And, you know, she's on a team and it's her first year playing, and they like, we want her to pitch because she can throw the hell out of the ball. she struggled. You know what I mean? She struggled being a pitcher. That was her first year playing softball, and she struggled. She would cry at the mound or whatever. And I was like, I would tell her, like, you're going to finish. You're going to be okay. We're going to get through this, but you're going to finish playing because you started it. You're
Right.
not going to quit anything you start. You're going to finish it.
Finish.
It was tough.
Mm-hmm.
She finished off. She got a little better. She got a lot better. She was a better second base player than what she was a pitcher. She was very good at second base. You know what I'm saying? But she struggled at being a pitcher, and the coach seen that, and she was like, "Yeah, you didn't want to be there," but it took the whole season. She finished out that season. Same thing with anything they do. She got into cross country. She thought cross country was, I don't know what it was, but she was like, I don't like this. We do a lot running. I said, well, what you think it was going to be?
Right.
What
Yeah.
you think it was going to be? I told you it was running long distance. Like, she was like, we got to run miles. I was like, that's what cross country is.
Country is. Yeah.
She
Yeah.
did I make her finish? Absolutely, because you started it. We start like, and all I'm getting at here is that you instill this attitude in these youngins before they even get there, right? But
Yeah.
now, and you even seeing it trickle over into the pros, and these athletes being crybabies walking off football fields. Like, you walk off in the middle of
In
a
the middle of
game.
a game. Yes.
That's
Yes.
trickling over. That attitude is trickling over because of what we don't instill in our youngins early. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know,
And now you're seeing that happen. It's happening in sports, and then we come out here with the same stuff. We give excuses. That's what we do. We give excuses instead of keeping it a buck. Like, that's just what we do.
going
I'm
back
just being honest.
going back to your story about your daughter trucking. You know, I learned that at a young age. My father wasn't around, but I had my uncles, and playing sports, football, basketball, baseball. But this was pee wee football,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't a good day for me. This was, hey, a day of scrimmage and everything. Coaches coaching hard. We out here getting ready for the season, and one coach just really ripped into me,
Mm-hmm.
and I unstrapped my chin strap, threw my helmet down, got ready to unbuckle my pads, and yes, my uncles was there. But the first person that came and grabbed me by my collar was my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first thing she said. She said, "You cried and begged to play this sport, and you out here because you facing a little adversity or someone is raising a voice at you. Now you want to be a baby and quit?" And I'm not gonna say it out what she said, but she said, "Get your little black, what, back out there and do what you're supposed to do."
Your little black ass out there and
Yeah,
play.
and you know what? It starts from when you're young. If you allow your child to pout and quit and not go through the tough times, they're gonna keep doing it. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
become repetitious.
Right.
So if something doesn't go their way, guess what? It's not going my way here. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if it doesn't fit your narrative everywhere you go? You're constantly quitting.
That, the way that we used to get yelled at in football and sports and talked to by our coaches, some of these parents nowadays be wanting to probably go ahead and they be pressing charges.
Oh yeah, you can't talk. Yeah, you can't talk that way to kids. Nah, nah,
Nah,
you just can't do it. Nah.
nah, you can't. They have press charges on you. I'm telling you, these parents is crazy. Like, it's crazy to me. And then another thing is, like, they ask for parent volunteers, coaches. They actually do that, people. And parents won't do it, but they'll try to coach on the sideline the whole damn game. Like, they
Yeah,
asked for volunteers before the season started, like, and you didn't accept, but now you want to be a volunteer all of a sudden, or however that go. But it's weird to me that a lot of that goes in just saying that. All I'm trying to say is that we start this off younger than what it is, but we keep these narratives going, man. and
right.
and you learn that type of thing when you young, how to quit. And a lot of these athletes, most of these athletes that starting on these power teams were childhood superstars. They've been a superstar their whole life. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? They've been a
Yeah.
superstar on the team the whole life. They've been the guy that was able to score touchdowns or get as many tackles, turn over the ball, whatever they were doing. They were the best at doing that in high school. A lot of these guys, they used to being pampered. They not used to going through adversity. They not used to, people telling them no, and you gonna
Right.
work for whatever. And then they go into college and they not being coached at. These coaches are not coaching them. So I mean, yeah, we could say the players are that, but at some point, like I said, and it leads back to these coaches. So
Yeah.
these coaches are allowing their players to act like
So,
little girls. Excuse me, the women that's watching. I don't mean this like that, but they're acting feminine.
yeah. Yeah.
You are
Because
letting your players act like that.
I was
Coaches,
just, I was totally amazed when they came on after the San Francisco game and told me, "Oh boy, just walked off the field." I'm like,
sup, Jim
"What?"
B.
I say, I understand, and well, I mean, well, I don't understand it, but we all know Antonio Brown brain is a little messed up.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like the only recollection I remember of a player just walking off on his team.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, you've been playing this sport for how many years? You know it's a brotherhood because someone that was starting before you has rehabbed and come back, and now he's starting. You don't know if he's going to get hurt again, so you're not getting as many reps.
Mm-hmm.
You don't wish injury on nobody, but it's still next man up. You you
Right.
you 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 know what the situation was, and for you to get in your feelings, come on now, you a grown man. And what example are you setting for kids?
Horrible, a horrible one, a horrible precedent, it's horrible. And that they're used to being that way. See, like, and that's why, but see, and that's why you look around college football and the teams that, and that's why I be having such a hard time accepting the fact and going into saying that the teams that won their conferences this year, whether they were sorry the year before or not, you got to give it to those coaches, because you can tell that those are the teams of coaches that do not baby their players. They make them work for everything they got. Look at what happened at Oklahoma earlier in the year. Now we can go back and look at that, right? Oklahoma State. We can go back and look at what happened at the beginning of the year before the season started, right? With Ollie Gordon and his
Right.
situation, what Mike Gundy did. I'm gonna just run them 50 times a game. Just pretty much blew it off. Ollie Gordon was he got in trouble at the beginning of it. Was one of the worst running backs in college football. Period. Point
Yeah.
blank.
Yeah.
Period. Point blank. Didn't coach didn't. He just allowed his behavior to be what it was. Didn't do nothing. Lost control of your whole team. Your team won one game. They didn't win no games in the Big 12 this year.
None.
No games. Because you just allow your team to do whatever, walk over. You ain't got no respect out there, Gundy. It's time for him to bounce. He's
Yeah.
soft. Mike Gundy
Yeah.
is straight up soft. That's a soft ass coach, Mike Gundy. Get him up out of here. Get him up out of there.
And see,
What's up, Stretch?
who was that you got up on the what's up, Coach Mike? I heard you talking to Coach the other day. Who was that from Florida State?
Right here.
Oh, that's Patrick Payton. Where's he going?
Is that Patrick Payton?
Yeah.
No, he just entered the portal. It don't say where he was at.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just some stuff I was gonna get into. You know what I mean? He just got into the portal. He was 2022 ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year. He got 1 year eligibility left. He jumping into the portal. He's leaving Florida State. It just was in there. I was just giving a quick update on that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Coach.
Hey, Cliff, I want you to know this. The guy you're talking about, he's from my hometown, same hometown from Deion Sanders, Devontae Campbell. I want you to know this, Cliff, and I see the world from a different perspective. You know, concussion protocol has been something that, CTE. Me and you both played the game, Cliff. You played it in the 70s. I played it in the 90s, 80s.
Okay.
80s, yeah.
And you started in the 70s. I started in the 80s. So, you know, when you play that game at a high level and you put your body on the line, nobody's there for you when you get home at night. If you got a wife or a family or you got some homeboys that you rooming with, like that game is more gruesome than a lot of games. It's just like rugby and soccer or
Mm-hmm.
Mortal Kombat, you
Yeah.
know. And I appreciate, there's been other instances that Antonio Brown ain't the only one walked off the team. You got Barry Sanders that quit the game in 10 years. You got Megatron that quit the game in 10 years. You got to think about some of the things that happened that we didn't have platforms where we was able to, or AI intelligence, where we was able to see what was going on with the common eye.
Mm-hmm.
But me and you played the game. And so with that being said, Devontae is from my town. He do a lot for this town, such as come back, give out free food, give out he do a free clinic, and I don't know what else he does, but those are the two things that I know that he does personally because I done been there and seen
Okay.
him.
Okay.
And his perspective on life is that he's been a journeyman. And if you watch and if you pull up his stats trucking and you watch what done happened to him, he's been used and abused a lot. He's played great football. I'm talking about where he's supposed to have been paid top dollar for what he's done. He's been moved around and he's been shifted around like a pawn. And I hate that because the shield, the NFL is like a modern day slavery for the other race. And we out there, it's just like it was back in the days when they had the Roman Colosseum. I don't want to put those things in perspective, but sometimes I got to come from a different angle.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
and I don't condone kids walking off the field. I don't condone um the platform that has been given to us and what we use it for. But
Mm-hmm.
these things that happen throughout history. You done had players quit. And we got to stop advocating for football. We love football, but we got to stop advocating for football because it is the American sport and it's one of the top entertainment platforms out there. But at the end of the day, we killing ourselves doing this. We shorten our days. You know, I don't want to take the conversation this way, but I just want y'all to understand where I come from sometimes. I
No,
do
I
coach
get that.
I do coach the game and I do have these young kids that promote the behavior that Antonio Brown is doing or Devontae Campbell is doing because sometimes, like you say, your grandma, like I love when you said that about your grandma came up there and got you right. See, we have those old school upbringings where it didn't allow for us to puss out like the pussycat.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We had to man up and fight through the battle, fight through adversity, fight through the mental toughness, fight through the obstacles and the detours in life. It
Mm-hmm.
set us up for success. And
Right.
so that's why I coach because I try to teach life lessons. I know the game
Yeah.
is brutal. I know the game is creating what I want to say mental and physical disabilities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And but I love the game, but I just want you to understand when I come on here and I chime in and I hear you talking, yeah, we don't want to accept the things that have happened, but sometimes men like Devontae get tired of being used and underpaid and unappreciated. And he has the right as American and as a man to say, you know what? But he got 3 game checks took from him, but he
There's a
has the
time and
right.
a place for that kind of behavior, though. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There's a time and a place for that kind of behavior. And see, where we're getting at is, and I'm glad you said that because I was definitely about to ask you, why did you start coaching? So that you're teaching. It's more than a game. Football, it taught me so much about life. No, I didn't make it to the NFL. I didn't make it to D1 college like a lot of other co-parts that people out there that did. You know what I'm saying? But it taught me a lot about life. You know what I mean? And how to get through adversity, like you said, never quit, how to get along with others, how to, you know what I'm saying? So football is a beautiful game. That's why we like the game, because it brings so much different people and personalities from all different races, colors, and creeds together in one big melting pot, and it teaches how to band together. That's like, it's like the army. It's kind of like the army without going there and going to war. You know what I mean? But you are, though. You are going to battle with your brothers, though. You know what I'm saying? Once you become a team, that's your team. That should be your brothers. I get it's a business once you get to the NFL. So quitting, like, you're learning that from somewhere, and we're saying, like, we got to start teaching them younger. That's exactly what
All I
we're
was
doing.
saying was,
Like, we got to
I
get
just
them while
wanted
they're
y'all to.
younger, because now it's just leaking over. That kind
All
of
I wanted.
attitude is leaking over, and I'm not cool with that. I
Wait a
get
minute,
it.
you know, I hear what you're saying, Coach, and you speak real well about that, and I agree with you because I didn't really know, the young man's
Background.
full journey, and I agree
That's
with you.
why I wanted Truckin to pull up. That's why I wanted Truckin to pull up his stats, where he been and what kind of stats he got. Because I want you to see this ain't no slouch. This ain't no slouch type of guy.
Used and when you feel used and abused, even as an adult, and I understand we
Devontae
all
Campbell.
do it, and sometimes we, as they say, I'm not gonna say overreact, but we get so frustrated that we don't think. Now everybody in hindsight, we can say he should have handled it better, which, yeah, I don't agree with the 3-game suspension. I still think it was too much. But like, hey, like Mike said, the shield, they trying to prove a point, which they always try to do, especially with us. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? I think
You know that.
one
Not to cut you off, Cliff, but you know there's a different scope versus colored versus non-colored, because you got guys that was in the league that had a DUI that killed somebody, but still was able to play until his proceedings was over. And then you got one guy, which is Henry Ruggs, that was driving his car fast, and Las Vegas just automatically let him go. You got Denver Broncos versus Las Vegas. Like,
right.
you got to if you dive and do a deep dive, you'll find there always was different favoritism for different races of people, man. And all I'm just trying to tell you is sometimes us colored people, we get tired of just being abused, man. Look at the people that's right now that's picking all our crops. Like, we ain't going out there in the field no more to pick it, but you know who picking it. And you know what they doing? Sometimes they say, we want more money. They did it down here where I'm from, because we got the #1 producing tomato farms in the United States down here where I live at. And they was out there with picket fences one day. I'm like, dang, they got it all over the news. We want more money. Other people ain't gonna go out there and do the things that they doing. So
Yeah.
that's why I was just trying to bring a different. So you got the stats up.
For sure. I hear what you're saying, but we also got to do this too, as being the prideful Black people that we are too. Sometimes we got to take that deep breath and say, I'm going to handle it like this.
Right.
And
With class and dignity.
Right. I understand it's the heat of the moment and things of that nature. I can give you a pass on that. Give him his punishment, which to me, 3 games was excessive. One game check. You bring him in, you talk to him. You know what I'm saying? See where his head is at. You done gave him time to cool off. And hey, you go from there. You make a decision on what you go do as far as his future and how he feels. You need to take his feelings into consideration too. But
Bring
like
up
I
the
was saying,
overall stats. See where he went from. He was at Green Bay. He was at Atlanta. He was at I just want you to see where he done been and how many years he been in the league, because he ain't like this. Ain't like his first year. He been
right, I
doing.
know.
31 years
Yeah.
old. Can't be his first year. He's 31, 7 interceptions total in his life, or whatever. I mean,
And I mean,
I wasn't even talking about DeAndre. I wasn't even talking about Devondre Campbell. I wasn't even talking about Campbell. I was speaking on something else. But I'm glad you brought him up. And I totally agree with where you coming from with all that, man. I definitely agree with all that, bro. Like, I don't. I don't disagree with none of that. What you said, how they use us and use the bodies and use us as bodies. It's a meat market out there. You know what I mean? They measure your hands, they measure everything. So you got to be
Right.
a big black guy to see. You know what I mean? Like how they used to do in slavery. I get that. I
Yeah,
definitely understand all
it's just like that. It's just like that. I just
that.
want to
And
see his.
I
I
think
just
that
want to see his overall where he came from and who all he played for. Because I think he been in like 5 different teams so far.
I think that
Oh,
I
okay.
like the athletes. Yeah, I'll get it pulled up here, but I'm a big advocate for athletes getting guaranteed contracts. I think they should have guaranteed contracts. Period.
You see the
Yeah.
NBA?
You know what I'm saying? I think football players should have guaranteed contracts. I've always talked about that. I made plenty shows in the past talking about and live shows talking about athletes getting guaranteed contracts. They absolutely should. Football players should. They're definitely risking their lives when they go out there and play. You could die from playing football. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
think
every time you get hit by one of these big dudes, it's the equivalent to a car crash. Like their
yeah.
helmets is Department of Transportation DOT certified. I don't know if a lot of people out there know that. Like that's real shit. I'm not just bumping my gums right now. Like their helmets are Department of Transportation certified. Like
Yeah.
you get
Listen,
in small
pe-
car
th-
crashes when you get
I,
hit by a
I,
And
motherfucker.
so what I want to tell y'all another thing too. What I've learned in coaching and I've been coaching. Well, I've been coaching for a long time, but I've been certified for nationally certified for the last 5 years. And what I've learned throughout my coaching 5 years now. But before I tried to coach, but I wasn't eligible because of some things I did in my personal life that didn't allow me to coach until I never mess with no kids or anything. I just always, had pistols and unregistered pistols and, being a gangster. But back to what I was trying to say. So I limit the contact with the kids. Like
right.
I teach. So when I go to clinics and I learned this at clinics, how, the NFL as well as the college teaches less hits on the body and teach more mechanics and simulate more longer drills than short drills,
Right.
so you can teach the kids how to have muscle memory. So I, but it makes the kids soft. I'm not gonna lie, because when they get in the game, and because I don't coach in Pop Warner, I coach in Florida Elite. It's a difference. I call it soft Warner. So
Okay.
when you get in the game and you like, I just put up a post on my page. We had a guy. I coached the national team for Florida, and we had a guy that I played against that was my height, 6 foot running back. But when they seen him at the national Florida tournament, they put him
Mhm.
at guard. But I've tried to tell him, man, this boy can run the ball, because at the end of the day, in the fourth quarter, none of my kids wanted to hit him because he was so big, like Jerome Bettis. And I try to tell him, use the man when we get in the situation. Everybody try to use these, they want to be quarterback friendly instead of go back to the running back. I think the game should go through the running back and then go to the receivers. And so they allowed this boy not to play running back, and they punted the ball, and we lost the game 14-12 in a shootout. But this punt that went up in the air, he seen his opportunity to grab the punt and run with it. Do you not know he muffed the damn punt and they got the ball and they end up scoring on that drive? And I was so mad. But what I was trying to tell you is the reason why I'm saying that is because in my league, no one wanted to hit him. But when we put him in the National League, they put him where his body fit. See, kids might want, and this is for DeAndre Campbell. Kids always want the stardom. Kids always want to feel like they are being loved and appreciated and gratified.
Mhm.
And so if they're not being that way, they're going to take the reins on themselves and try to show us what they're capable of. And so that's the
Mhm.
same thing with DeAndre. He's proven that he's a wonderful inside Mike linebacker.
Yeah.
And when you get demoted, you still have that childish personality inside you deep that I'm gonna lash out. I'm gonna
But why?
show you.
walking off the field, bro, Stretch, like you don't walk off the field in the middle of the football game.
Man, I know you don't do that, but you know what? That man done got his money. He done been paid. And sometimes people wake up and say, you know what the fuck I'm doing this for? Excuse my
You know,
language.
and think about the kids that watch LeBron Campbell walk off the field. Think about your kids that watch him.
I already know what you're talking about. I'm just saying, I'm just giving it from a different perspective, so we'll see the different side. That's all.
Yeah,
I don't condone it. I'm definitely don't condone it because I'm gonna chase my kid down and I'm gonna let him walk off. I can send y'all some text messages in the back of the back office, and you can put them up on the on the video. I can send them to you in the back chat and let you show you how these kids appreciate me chasing them down, not giving up on them because they don't walk off on me.
Yeah.
and see, that's another thing we gotta realize. A lot of these kids,
Stretch your mic. You gotta get mic.
it's somebody's
Mic, Stretch. You gotta turn the show off in the background. Turn the show down in the background if you're watching it. If you got it watched in the background, you gotta turn that down.
Nah, my internet and my phone be messing up sometime. I ain't watching the show.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of these kids experience that, people giving up on them too. And that's, I think, another topic that we gotta really address too, with this sports thing and in life. We can't be so quick to give up on these kids. Like Coach say, he chased his kids down. It's some coaches that say, you know what? Get the what off the damn field. Get off my field.
Yeah, I feel that.
And it's like it's like that. That's a teaching moment. We understand. We as kids and growing up, and I remember my childhood. Yeah, sometimes I was an asshole. My attitude, I was an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But I had that stable adult there to either pull me by the collar if needed be, or pull me over gently and give me some words to let me to straighten me out. And nowadays it's like, okay, I'm not gonna say in all cases, but in some cases, we not straightening things out. We letting it fester. And then you got the youth thinking that it's okay to do that. And it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Respect goes a long way, and we've lost that in society as a whole. And I'm not even speaking with the kids. I'm speaking on people that know better, us adults. Because guess who the youth are getting it from? The adults.
From us.
If you see an adult just constantly being disrespectful, what you think a kid that's a sponge soaking it up? They figure like they can be disrespectful too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I commend Coach when he put that out there and say, you know what, hey, sometimes I don't have to chase my kids down, because there's some coaches that will actually tell a kid, get the hell off my field, and it's like, really?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man.
I wasn't trying to bash anybody or one particular person on that, right? I'm just saying that. And then when you get to a certain level in sports, right? I get a lot of people like to pat my back. They got that pat my back type mentality. There's players with all different kinds of mentalities or whatever, right? There is a little there's issues everywhere throughout the world. It ain't just them that got to deal with that. We got to deal with things too, right? But you can't baby somebody that you're paying to do a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't got time to do that. You don't have time to do that. That's why you gotta, that's your circle. Stop having so many yes men in your circle out there. Don't, have people out there that's gonna hold you accountable, or people, and not to hold you accountable. Let me say it like this: have people in your circle that you don't mind holding you accountable, because a lot of people got an issue with that. That's another issue too. We can't hold each other accountable for some of the mistakes that we do make out there. You got to stop having all those yes men in your circle because they know you're going to be successful, or that you are successful, and you helping them with their businesses or whatever else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're getting paid to do a job by somebody else. So you got to have your circle tight and people that you could go to talk about your problems and stuff that you going through.
How do I send the damn screenshot of the kids telling me that he appreciated me chasing them down? Can I put an image in the back chat?
Yeah, you should be able to.
It won't let me. I don't see nowhere where I can drop a picture.
Well, I mean, email her. I'll send you my email. So you email it. Here, you gotta mute that.
My bad.
All right, there it is. I sent you my email in the back chat, bro. Strat sent it to you, and it's back there now, so you'll have it. But yeah, I get where you're going with that though, and that's deep. See, that's a whole topic for a whole nother day, Stretch, where you was going in and you started going in about about the way that they treat their athletes. Like that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like that's a whole topic for a whole nother day. Thank you, Rick. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's go ahead and but yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the change gears a little bit, man. Because this the transfer portal is just crazy. But Aaron Rodgers, did y'all get a chance to check that out? No, I don't really know what Aaron Rodgers, but I'm gonna play with Ryan Clark had to say
because you're actually want to make sure all your people.
Stretch,
hold on, man. I was trying to get the email. Let me mute up.
It's in the back chat. Just go in the private chat, and then it should be that my email's in there. And then once it comes through on my email, I'll play the video. But I'm about to play this Ryan Clark video. He's replying back to Aaron Rodgers. I don't know exactly what he had to say, so we're gonna watch it.
Make sure all your people knew it was me. Here is why I called Aaron Rodgers, or why I called you a hypocrite. Because you're actually on ESPN talking about my fellow colleagues and the people I work with, saying that now, because they are former players and weren't as great as players of you as you were, you feel like, or they feel like they're the stars. And that's not it. TV has changed. It's more about opinion and the informed opinion of people who have played the game. What's hypocritical about what you said is you said it while on TV with Pat McAfee, who has done an amazing job with this platform. And even though he was an all-pro punter, he's now extremely famous and more well-known for what he does in his post-career. Even more hypocritical of you is that you're sitting across from three people who have never played the game. And they are also entitled to talk about football in a very informed way, because if we've learned anything from Mina Kimes, you don't actually have to step on the field to be excellent at the job of analyzing football. And I spoke to that hypocrisy because you were getting paid to do that, which Pat said you deserve to. And that is why you received the money that you did, at least initially, because of what you brought to his platform. Now, let me be clear, because I know you want us to list these things. My name is Ryan Clark. Played 13 years in the NFL, been to 2 Super Bowls. I have as many rings as you do. I was the captain of 2 separate football teams. I'm also an Emmy winner. I'm also the co-host, owner, and partner of an Emmy-nominated podcast called The Pivot. Now, I know something else you were very interested in was my vaccination status. And yes, I'm vaxxed because I have no spleen, I have no gallbladder, because of playing in Denver and being willing to go back, honestly, and play again. Because I've been in those locker rooms, and I've talked to people that have been in the locker rooms with you. I have the stories. I have all the things that they said that informed my opinion of who you are. And as far as your vaccination status, so you can stop trying to trick people into thinking that we want to talk about that above the stink of your film, I've never heard it one more time after your incident. And the only reason we spoke about it then was because based on your vaccination status, it was going to determine how long you were out. And also, people didn't care that you weren't vaccinated. They cared that you were slimy about it. They cared that you were deceitful about it. And they cared that you had this air of arrogance when answering the questions.
All right. Bottom line is Aaron Rodgers, for some reason, he just been horrible this football season. Aaron Rodgers has been horrible that season. His stats have not looked good. Period. I think he had one game that he threw for over 300 yards. It just was recently. He had one game that was over 300 yards. And other than that, he just has not been performing well. His film has been bad. I guess Ryan Clark has some things to say about that. And, giving him a fair breakdown on that. Aaron Rodgers didn't like that, apparently. He didn't like that. He went up on the Pat McAfee show, and I can play that Ryan Clark clip. If I play the Pat McAfee show, they will probably just totally take all my monetization from me because it's Pat McAfee on ESPN. If it was the old Pat McAfee on YouTube, it'd be cool. But just because it's anything to do with ESPN, they'll take the whole thing down and demonetize me for that. All right. So, and I ain't trying to go through all that. We've been having a decent show so far. I'm trying to keep it rolling. But yeah, man, like, in long story short, I guess, and that was what Ryan Clark had to say. But I would have to say, and I'm trying not to pick sides, you know what I'm saying? But look, it's just the facts is the facts, right? Aaron Rodgers' season has been horrible. That's the bottom line on that. And I don't understand why he would even come out and remotely think that it's anything but that, and start pointing a finger at anything else. So do he need to retire? Do I think Aaron Rodgers need to retire? Yeah, I think he should walk away from the game. I don't like the fact that his legacy is looking like it is right now. I think he should have walked away from the game a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? But he still got something in him. I guess you could argue that. Why would we say that Aaron Rodgers should walk away from the game when he's 11th in the NFL right now? You know what I mean? You can argue me down with that all day, every day. His total stats look good, right? As far as, and that just goes to show you how bad the quarterback play has been in the NFL this year, period. It's just been shitty. So am I just getting on Aaron Rodgers? Absolutely not. The quarterback play in the NFL is just went down. The running backs absolutely have to be more value. The value of the running back should never go down the way that it has ever. I don't know why the value of the running back dropped the way that it has. It should never be that low at all, because running backs are very, very valuable at the NFL level and at the college level. They definitely are. Which goes into me. I don't think I really came out publicly and congratulated Travis Hunter on winning the Heisman Trophy. So congratulations to Travis Hunter on winning that Heisman Trophy. He deserved he played both sides of the ball. Y'all know where I kind of stood on that. I just thought that, he is the best player, right? You said Aaron Rodgers came straight with it. Aaron Rodgers is a fruitcake that needs to go away. That's what it is. That's just what it is. I said that. But now I'm going in on this. I'm about to go over to the Heisman, right? And I thought Genty had it. I gotta be honest with y'all. I'm happy Travis got it. I am. But he's about to break Barry Sanders' record, because I guess in college, your stats go with your bowl game, right? The bowl game goes with all the stats. It's the whole, every game you play. It's not, a regular season and then bowl season stats. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're going to start breaking it up like that this year or next year, but he's going to break Barry Sanders' record. And that's been a record that's been standing for, years. Now, I guess I can stop being ignorant and stop being lazy and go ahead and type it in to see how long it's been up there. But Barry Sanders, I think he broke that record. I'm gonna give y'all the exact time, because right now I'm Googling. I gotta do the Google, Barry Sanders record. And if one of y'all in the chat know it before me, then y'all can go ahead and put it in there. But I just know it's been standing for since the 80s, 70s, 80s. and it's been broken this year in 2024, and it probably won't get touched again for however long, but it just goes into the argument that is the Aston Genty, do y'all believe out there, and I'm asking everybody in the chat, do y'all believe that Aston Genty kind of suffered the fact that running backs are just looked at as being devalued all across the board, period? Do y'all think he suffered from that this year in the running for the Heisman Trophy? Because we've seen running backs, of course, they played in the SEC. I get that. And everything else. I definitely get that. But that have less yards than him and walk away with the Heisman Trophy. And I know he was up against a Travis Hunter, and neither one of those guys that won a Heisman Trophy that year was. But he's actually about to break one of the best college running backs, one of the best NFL running backs college record that's been standing for more than 30, 40 years. And didn't walk away with the the Heisman or whatever. But it's just it's just a question, you know what I mean? Good conversation piece, I guess. I mean, it's over and done with now. And but with Travis Hunter, on the other hand, what Travis Hunter did, we're probably I don't know if we're gonna see that again or not, but I just don't know. I don't know if we're gonna see another player that's gonna be allowed to play both ways and be productive on both sides of the ball the way that Travis Hunter was, versus the way that you're seeing the running back Ashton Genty. Is somebody gonna be able to do that again? I don't think we're gonna see athletes like either one of those guys for a minute. You know what I'm saying? What they both did was incredible. So it was a great Heisman run and everything. But I just wanted to bring that up and kind of clear the air, and because I mean I've argued about that, and both sides had some very valid points upon that. Like, um when the people started talking about how Aston Genty's hit the teams he played against were G5 and whatever else, and then you can argue that no Travis Hunter really never was on defense over not really be any good quarterbacks. There wasn't a Shador Sanders throwing against Travis every week. You know what I'm saying? So to each his own with that. But I'm glad that he got the trophy. And but however, I just really wanted to ask that question out there to y'all. Do y'all think that Aston Genty kind of suffered from this bias with the running backs? Because running backs absolutely matter. And could we be seeing that in the NFL happen this year, where you can argue two of the best players right now are really not performing like the best? I mean, they both had last week was pretty rough. I mean, but when you go against a Steeler defense and you get 65 yards, I would say he broke 100 on a regular team. He was still able to get 660 yards on Steelers, and he did get a good run on us too. By the way, Saquon Barkley. But yeah, like, do we think Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry will suffer from not getting the MVP due to this biasness? And with the NFL, it's crazy to me. I mean, with running backs, because I thought CMC should have got it a couple of times, but I don't know what had happened. Now, before I get on up out of here, I got to make y'all smile, man. I think we had a great conversation about the way that college football is imploding. Katie, thank you for that, by the way. To come up in here talking about that, and it took us to so many different places. We got a lot of different perspectives on that. Thank you, AO Coach Mike Stretch. Thank you for coming through, bro, and blessing the mic like that, and giving us some food for thought, and everything else. And for sure, sharing your youth football, and everything that's going on with the youth, because it's one thing to say things and talk about the youth and how they are, but people are not out there impacting the youth the way that we are. Even though, I coach babies, I'm still out there trying to impact our communities by being a coach, period. And so is Coach Mike Stretch, that just left out of here. He's impacting his community. He's just not one of these people out here talking about leading kids a certain way and doing certain things with kids and actually ain't doing shit with kids, So I commend him for that and everything. And shout out to Cliff too for coming through and blessing the show, because Cliff always got some good things. The Godfather, that's his nickname, the Godfather Cliff. You know, he'll get on you for real. And that's just what it is. It's not that he's my godfather. My godfather is Mark, you know, but that's just his nickname, Godfather. All right. But for me anyway. But yeah, so just to leave it, you know, try to get a little comedic relief or whatever, some things. Why in the heck would you think texting the coach's daughter and asking her about some, do you want this horse, you know, wood? Why did what is his name? Can you something? And it's a clip. I'm gonna play it straight off YouTube. Shout out, give credit to the Cam Newton show. Cam Newton and the guys kind of brought it up, and I'm gonna kind of play it a little bit. This guy off of TikTok and whatnot. Can you hot? His name is. I'll get it pulled up here. There it is. Can you caught? There's the guy right here from Alabama Crimson Tide, number 19, the linebacker from Florida. Is Florida guys is crazy. For real. It just is what it is. I don't know what they be putting down there in the water on y'all Florida guys or whatever y'all got going on down there, but y'all off the chain, bro. Y'all off the chain. I got it for real. Y'all off the chain. He texts the coach's daughter, you know what I mean, a eggplant picture. I mean, not really the eggplant, but just a random picture. And I gotta come out and say this, right? Women don't want to see that, dudes. I know this is a sports show, but look, this is a football player that went and texted his coach's daughter, the head coach, by the way, and got kicked off the team. So he's in the transfer portal now for that. And I just want to talk to the men real quick before we get, man, nobody want to see that, bro. Nobody just don't want to see your wood, just random wood pictures. Like that's weak, bro. Like there's a whole move for that. And a lot of dudes out there be doing that. Don't do that. Don't do that, dog. Just don't send your junk to the women, bro. The oddest things turn ladies on, men and young men that's watching or that may see this. It's definitely not going to be your little pecker. It's definitely not going to be that, unless that's the mood. But there's a million other little things that you might do for her. Get to know her. That's going to turn her on and wanting her to jump all over you. Besides seeing your little wood, you know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy. Like I thought that was crazy, and I had to bring it up because I'm different. I'm different here. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do, man. And I appreciate you too, Katie. By the way, Katie, I think it's about time that we go ahead and I'm gonna give Katie the key. I don't know. I gotta talk to South Coast because I don't know if you got a wrench with South Coast or not, but I gotta give you a wrench, Katie, because you know what I'm saying. You always here, man. You gotta get a wrench, you know what I'm saying. But I don't want to step on nobody else's toes, you know what I'm saying. So if you ain't got a wrench by somebody else, I have to make you one. And I matter of fact, I'm gonna do it right now live on the show. You know what I mean? Just to let everybody know and show my appreciation to everybody out here, but not only to everybody, but to you. So I think I gotta go into my settings or whatever. I'm no matter what, I'm gonna make it happen before I get on up out of here. I'm gonna make this happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Make you a moderator and give you a wrench because you're a huge supporter and I appreciate you. You've been with me since day one. You found out and you ain't never stray away. You always in the comments. You always, you know what I'm saying, showing me much love. So I'm gonna definitely give you a wrench, Katie, without a doubt, man. I appreciate you always. I appreciate all y'all out there. I really do, man. Y'all coming through every time y'all do. Hit that like button, man. Hit the share button, subscribe. I thought we had a very good conversation today, man. I like to have those conversations, you know what I mean? And everybody's welcome. You always welcome to hit that link. Don't ever think that your opinion is stupid, man. Don't ever think that because or be shy about coming up in here because everybody would you never can say anything stupid. You never can ask a stupid question. Never can never ask a stupid question. People in the chat sometimes is like that, but you never can ask a stupid question. You're trying to gain knowledge of something that you don't know or whatever. You know what I mean? So anything you say, your opinion is always held to the highest esteem over here in sports with TruckinChubbzy. Always because you give me things to think about. I always go back and watch the shows and and I listen to what other people saying. I put it in perspective, and it never leaves me. It never leaves me. That's how I survived out here. That's how I survived. I'm telling you, that's a survival technique. You got to listen to what people are saying in order to be a good speaker. You got to be a good listener first. That's a fact. That is a fact. But thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all coming through here, man, and kicking it. Another Truckin' Chubby production. Peace.